Another type of problem which you get in calculation of CAGR is this. Think about a company. Let's say a company, General Motors. Okay, I'm very wrong company to take because its profit has not increased that much. Let's take Infosys. Okay, Infosys has generated, let's say, $200 million profit in year 2005. Okay, and in year 2006, Infosys generated $400 million profit. In year 2007, Infosys generated $600 million of profit. In 2008, they generated $1 billion of profit. 2009, they generated $1.3 billion of profit. Right? So this is the way that Infosys profit has grown. I want to know at what compounded annual growth rate Infosys profit has grown. Okay. How I will compute this? So what we have is, can we say that Infosys final profit is 1.3, its initial profit is 200 million. So what will be my future value be? 1.3 billion, or if you want to say 1.3 billion means 1300 million. Your present value will be 200 million. Please note that you have to take both the sign like opposite of each other, and you have to, what will be n? This is all about n. So 2005, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can I say n will be 5? If I say n5, will it be correct? N5 is wrong. Because if you see how much is the period you are interested in, you are not interested in this years. Period. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So n should be taken as 4. Getting the idea? So once you have n as 4, okay, PMT is 0, you will compute the I by Y, right? So this is one more application of your time value of money concepts. Okay, that is computation of CAGR. Have you heard of this stock, preferred stock? A preferred stock is a stock which will give you a constant dividend. So preferred stock will give you a constant dividend over its entire life. Okay. Now preferred stock have something called as face value. So preferred stock have face value. Face value, what we will say is all the calculation you will do it in the end mode. Okay. Do not do it in the begin mode. Okay. However, like begin mode, end mode, the difference will only come when you have the PMT. When you don't have the PMT, it doesn't matter. Okay, because in begin and on end mode, your PV is still there and FV is still there. So only that PMT creates the difference. Okay. So preferred stock have face value, or it is also called as par value. So face value of preferred stock is $100. Let's say it gives a coupon or a dividend of 8%. So dividend it gives is 8%. So how much is the dividend in dollar we get? It will be 8% of $100, which is $8. Okay. Now there are like lots of different type of preferred stock. Okay. So there is like one type of preferred stock which is called as cumulative preferred stock. Okay. Where it says that if you do not give dividend in any one particular year, make sure you give the dividend in next year along with the interest. Okay. So we will assume that in our preferred stock, the companies pay dividend every year. Okay. Without fail. Okay. So this is one assumption. In reality, it may not happen that way. Okay. Now I am saying that this is a preferred stock which pays a dividend of $8 every year. Okay. I want to find out what price I should buy this preferred stock. Okay. And my required rate of return, I am saying 3 required rate of return. First required rate of return I am saying is my 10% is my required rate of return. Second case I am saying my required rate of return is 8%. Third case I am saying my required rate of return is 6%. Okay. I'm saying that I want to find out what price I should buy this preferred stock. Okay. When my required rate of return is 10%. Okay. Now this preferred stock valuation is a valuation when you are seeing I will be getting $8. Okay. Till when I will be getting? preferred stock has infinite life, okay, because we assume that the company will be remaining till infinity. Okay, so I will be getting this $88 till infinity. Okay, so $88 I will be getting till infinity. Now what will be the present value of this amount? So you have to discount this, you have to discount this, you have to discount this. At what rate you have to discount? R. So what is the present value of the first cash flow? Can I say it will be 8 by 1 plus R? Second cash flow will be 8 by 1 plus R whole square. Third will be 8 1 plus R whole cube. Like that it will go to infinity. It is an infinite. Can I say it's a geometric progression? Because if you see, if you multiply this with 1 plus R, you will get this. 1 by 1 plus R, you will get this. If you multiply this with 1 by 1 plus R, you will get this. So it's a geometric progression. Okay. And it is an infinite geometric progression. Okay. The way this infinite geometric progression work is, you have a formula, okay, which is the first term divided by 1 minus common ratio. Okay. If you put this form over here, you will get the answer as the present value should be 8 by R, or for preferred stock we can write the present value formula as present value is equal to the dividend divided by your required rate. So this is the formula for the present value of a preferred stock. Now in this case, what is the required rate? 10%. What is the present value? You are getting 8 divided by, please note that you should divide it by 0.1 because percentage, so it will come as 80. So when your required rate is 10%, the present value is 80. Over here when your required rate is 8%, so it becomes 8 by 0.08, the value will be 100. We will see, we'll see the logic of it. Okay, over here when your required rate is 8%, 6%, what will happen is it will be how much? 4 by 3, 133. The present value will be 133. Now see, the face value is 100. When your required rate is more than, over here your required rate is 10%. Your required rate is more than the dividend rate. The dividend rate is 8%. When your required rate is more than the dividend rate, the bond is trading below the par value. The bond means preferred stock. So what we say is, when the preferred stock trades below the par value, we say it is trading at discount, because it is trading at 80, which is below the par value. When the bond will trade at discount, when it will trade at discount? When the required rate is greater than the coupon rate, or reverse, I can say that coupon rate is less than your required rate. Okay, I will erase this. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so when your coupon rate is less than the required rate, your coupon rate was 8%, your required rate was 10%. This implies the bond was trading at 80, which is less than the face value. Why it is such that? Because stock is giving you only 8%, you want 10%. So what you do is, since you cannot change the coupon, the only thing you can change is the price. So effectively you change the price to 80. As a result, what is happening is, you are investing 80 rupees and you are getting 8 coupon. So you are getting a 10% return. Okay, so this is the way it happens. Okay, when the coupon rate is equal to the required rate, that is 8% and 8%, the bond will trade at 100. We say the bond is trading at par. This is the bond is trading at discount. When the coupon rate is greater than the required rate, coupon rate was 8%, required rate was 6%, the bond was trading at 133. This is, we say, is premium. Why it should trade at premium? Because think about, in the world, when when a stock is giving 8% return, everybody wants 6%. Okay, so there is a product which gives a higher return than your requirement. Everybody will jump to buy this, right? So people are interested in buying this. So what will happen is, the price of that will be increasing. So all people will buy that, and it will not trade at 100, but it will trade at a higher than that. So it will trade at a higher price. Is this clear?